This is Dr. Phil, and you're listening to a replay of the Kim Peterson Show. How's that working out for you? If you must, listen to the Kimmer weekdays noon to 3 on News Radio 106.7.
The Kimmer's like a slinky.
Thank you.
He's not much use, but still fun when you push him down a flight of stairs.
Wait a minute.
The Kimmer Show on News Radio 106.7.
All right, look out now. Hold everything. We're not. Oh, you're going to hit the sound. Oh, you're not quite ready yet? All right, hold it. Be right with you, folks.
All right.
Now, ready? And cue him.
Okay.
Good start. Look out, it's only me. It's only the Kimmer on News Radio 106.7. All right, here we go. Here's the number, 844-404-1067. 844-404-1067. We're not going to open up the phone lines for a while yet. We figure, what the hell? There's no sense in having the lines open or anything. What, he's taking the afternoon off? Well, when we decide to open up the lines, we'll open it at this number, 844-404-1067. Anyway, so how's it going? Incidentally, Putty Tat, the coward of the White House, who was so concerned with his legacy being continued with Hillary Rodham Soprano, who, by the way, now can act like her typical white trash self and just go back to Arkansas, although they will have a double wide now, so that's a good sign. What a joke. What an incredible joke. And all you idiot pollsters and all you idiot commentators and political analysts, take a freaking lesson. What a bunch of, boom, pow, zoom. Donald Trump, you did it. I still find it hard. But even, the fact of the matter is, Hillary Rodham, who has spent 40 years running for president, the two of them together have spent 40 years for him and then her to become president of the United States, and she couldn't beat Donald Trump. She couldn't beat the guy who does TV shows. She couldn't beat the billionaire businessman who's had bankruptcies, lawsuits. He has his clothes made in China. You would think he wouldn't have had a chance. And she wanted to face Donald Trump. The Democrats were praying that Donald Trump would be the nominee of the Republican Party. Remember, during all the primaries, they were begging for Donald Trump to be the one because they knew they were going to cream him. Oh, can you imagine? I'm only thinking about last night. Last night, I'm sure that Bill and Hillary were cuddled together on a beautiful king-size bed with some soft 250-count silk sheets and pillows, holding each other tenderly, holding hands, giving little butterfly kisses. Baby, you were so great out there. Oh, darling, if it weren't for you. Hugging and kissing each other and stroking that big fat neck of hers.
Oh, no!
Little kisses of those big hairy feet. God.
Kinky.
Oh, man. All right, 844-404-1067. Putty Tat's going to speak shortly. But apparently Hillary was, and she stiffed the crowd. What nerve of this white trash scum woman, the devil's spawn, to stiff the people who showed up and waited for hours for her last night. All she had to do was come out and say, ladies and gentlemen, God bless you. I really appreciate all you're doing. We're still counting the ballots, but let's go home and get some sleep. I'll see you in the morning. Thanks for all you've done. God bless America, and thanks for all your help. Boom, that's it. What was that, 23 seconds? That's all she had to do. Wouldn't even do that. Left him standing there. And then she comes in 2.5 hours late today. Oh, my God. It talks about how she brought people together, stronger together. It was the most divisive campaign in the history of politics. And by the way, the Donald Trump win is the most significant and is the biggest political story in American history. It's bigger than the Kennedy and Lincoln assassinations. I think it's bigger than Nixon resigning, because that was going on for a long time, and people were kind of expecting it at some point. So it was it was a process that had a basic conclusion. But up until, and you idiot pollsters, again, thank you. The camera comes through telling everybody to lie to your pollster. Never tell the truth to a pollster, ever, because it makes them all look like idiots. And then sure enough, all except one look like complete idiots. And the pollsters up until 11 o'clock last night were saying, well, the exit polls show that Hillary's going to be a winner by about 3 percentage points. Oh, there you go, Bob, and everybody's happy, and get some sleep, and we'll crown her in the morning. Uh-oh! And not only that, she couldn't beat Donald Trump in Florida, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Ohio, with John Kasich saying he hated Trump. The governor of the state was against Donald Trump. And she couldn't beat him in Ohio? Oh, man. I love it. 12-11. Quickly, no, I don't want to start off with Shirley. No, I don't think so. Although we do have do we have the sound? Here's some sound. Now, Putty Tat's coming up. When Putty Tat decides to speak, we'll take his comments. And by the way, was he going to try to be the leader of the free world now? He's going to come out and try to bring us all together? He's going to talk about his legacy, and he's going to try to bring us all together. We owe the president-elect our respect. And, yeah, please. You know what their honest reactions were all night long. You know that. Anyway, apparently there's some hidden secret microphone catching Hillary talking to John Podesta. And, man, was she hammered this morning.
Go in there.
I didn't do nothing.
Why can't you stand here, little bastard?
I'm losing my shoes.
I'm going to lose your face in a minute.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't do nothing.
You think that's sweet?
No. I'm losing
Why don't you, little bastard?
I'm
Come
losing
here.
my shoes.
Oh, man.
I don't care. I don't care.
She went for his neck, right? She was going for his throat right there. Man, it was unbelievable. 12-12. All right, hold it. Are we on schedule to spot stuff? Okay, now, again, when Putty Tat shows up, we have to take him. But in the meantime, we got Alan in Jersey and Shirley. We got the whole...
This is the Kimmer Show replay on News Radio 106.7.
This is Dr. Henry Kissinger, and you're listening to a replay of the Kim Peterson Show. Kimmer treats every show as if it were his last, because in all likelihood, it probably is. Tune into the Kimmer weekdays, noon to 3 on News Radio 106.7.
Well, this is your former President George Bush.
Oh, the turncoat.
And this portion of our show is brought to you by President-elect Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah.
He had 2 words for the Bush family this morning,
yeah,
and they weren't thank you. And now here's your temporary host, Kim Peterson.
Close there, turncoat. You and your kids. Man, eat a little crow, why don't you? Hold everything. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. Here we go. Just about to stand by. Ladies and gentlemen, the worst president of the United States America's ever had, the coward of the White House, Mr. Chickenface.
Yesterday, before votes were tallied, I shot a video that some of you may have seen in which I said to the American people, regardless of which side you were on in the election, regardless of whether your candidate won or lost, the sun would come up in the morning. And that is one bit of prognosticating that actually came true. The sun is up. And I know everybody had a long night. I did as well. I had a chance to talk to President-elect Trump last night, about 3:30 in the morning, I think it was, to congratulate him on winning the election. And I had a chance to invite him to come to the White House tomorrow to talk about making sure that there is a successful transition between our presidencies. Now, it is no secret that the president-elect and I have some pretty significant differences. But remember, 8 years ago, President Bush and I had some pretty significant differences. But President Bush's team could not have been more professional or more gracious in making sure we had a smooth transition so that we could hit the ground running. And one thing you realize quickly in this job is that the presidency and the vice presidency is bigger than any of us. So I have instructed my team to follow the example that President Bush's team set 8 years ago and work as hard as we can to make sure that this is a successful transition for the president-elect. Because we are now all rooting for his success in uniting and leading the country. The peaceful transition of power is one of the hallmarks of our democracy. And over the next few months, we are going to show that to the world. I also had a chance last night to speak with Secretary Clinton, and I just had a chance to hear her remarks. I could not be prouder of her. She has lived an extraordinary life of public service. She was a great First Lady. She was an outstanding senator for the state of New York. And she could not have been a better Secretary of State. I'm proud of her. A lot of Americans look up to her. Her candidacy and nomination was historic and sends a message to our daughters all across the country that they can achieve at the highest levels of politics. And I'm absolutely confident that she and President Clinton will continue to do great work for people here in the United States and all around the world. Now, everybody is sad when their side loses an election. But the day after, we have to remember that we're actually all on one team. This is an intramural scrimmage. We're not Democrats first. We're not Republicans first. We are Americans first. We're patriots first. We all want what's best for this country. That's what I heard in Mr. Trump's remarks last night. That's what I heard when I spoke to him directly. And I was heartened by that. That's what the country needs. A sense of unity, a sense of inclusion, a respect for our institutions, our way of life, rule of law, and a respect for each other. I hope that he maintains that spirit throughout this transition, and I certainly hope that's how his presidency has a chance to begin. I also told my team today to keep their heads up, because the remarkable work that they have done day in, day out, often without a lot of fanfare, often with a lot of attention, work in agencies, work in obscure areas of policy that make government run better and make it more responsive and make it more efficient and make it more service-friendly so that it's actually helping more people. That remarkable work has left the next president with a stronger, better country than the one that existed 8 years ago. So win or lose in this election, that was always our mission. That was our mission from day one. And everyone on my team should be extraordinarily proud of everything that they have done. And so should all the Americans that I've had a chance to meet all across this country, who do the hard work of building on that progress every single day. Teachers in schools, doctors in an ER clinic, small businesses putting their all into starting something up, making sure they're treating their employees well. All the important work that's done by moms and dads and families and congregations in every state, the work of perfecting this union. So this was a long and hard-fought campaign. A lot of our fellow Americans are exultant today. A lot of Americans are less so. But that's the nature of campaigns. That's the nature of democracy. It is hard and sometimes contentious and noisy. And it's not always inspiring. But to the young people who got into politics for the first time and may be disappointed by the results, I just want you to know you have to stay encouraged. Don't get cynical. Don't ever think you can't make a difference. As Secretary Clinton said this morning, fighting for what is right is worth it. Sometimes you lose an argument. Sometimes you lose an election. You know, the path that this country's taken has never been a straight line. We zig and zag, and sometimes we move in ways that some people think is forward and others think is moving back. And that's okay. I've lost elections before. Joe hasn't. But, you know. So I've been sort of sharing.
You beat me badly.
That's the way politics works sometimes. We try really hard to persuade people that we're right. And then people vote. And then if we lose, we learn from our mistakes, we do some reflection, we lick our wounds, we brush ourselves off, we get back in the arena. We go at it. We try even harder the next time. The point, though, is that we all go forward with a presumption of good faith in our fellow citizens. Because that presumption of good faith is essential to a vibrant and functioning democracy. That's how this country has moved forward for 240 years. That's how we've pushed boundaries and promoted freedom around the world. That's how we've expanded the rights of our founding to reach all of our citizens. It's how we have come this far. And that's why I'm confident that this incredible journey that we're on as Americans will go on. And I'm looking forward to doing everything that I can to make sure that the next president is successful in that. I've said before, I think of this job as being a relay runner. You take the baton, you run your best race, and hopefully by the time you hand it off, you're a little further ahead. You've made a little progress. And I can say that we've done that, and I want to make sure that handoff is well executed because ultimately we're all on the same team. All right. Thank you very much, everybody.
My God. We got news coming up later. We got spots to do. We got news coming up on News Radio 106.7. Look out.
The Kimmer Show replay on News Radio 106.7.
This is John Lovitz, and you're listening to a replay of the Kim Peterson Show. Congratulations! You're our 1,000,000th, 10,000th second listener. Yeah, that's it. That's a ticket. Anyway, the Kimmer is on Monday through Friday, noon to 3, on News Radio 106.7.
This is Dan Rather, and this portion of our show is brought to you by CBS News, who still insists this presidential election is too close to call. Hillary's looking good in Georgia, Bob Schieffer. She could still pull this thing out. And now here's your temporary host, Kim Peterson.
Yeah, Georgia's going to be another blue state there for the liberal Democrats. Yeah, that's right. And Michelle Nunn, your new U.S. Senator, an incredible story. You idiots, freaking losers. And Putty Tack comes in with his speech, and he brags about his legacy. You know, we started the progress, and now coming together is just shut up and go away, my God. You lost. You're a bunch of losers, fraud, liars, cheats, schemers. Worst political corruption in the history of the country. Oh, man. Screw all of you. You're out. Drain the swamp. Oh, man. All right, look out. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, 1976. Released their self-titled album. Hey, baby. Look out. It's 12:35. It's only the Kimmer. 844-404-1067. 844-404-1067. We got all your calls. We got news mega lines coming up, and we're going to try to get back on schedule here because the speech has kind of threw us off. And by the way, Mr. De Niro, Miss Streisand, your planes are warmed up and your passports are on the seat. So, and by the way, let's hold him to it. Yeah. Get out. Get out. Hell, he used to tell me a Yale professor was so upset this morning he canceled an exam. He couldn't make it to the exam of his own class. There are people curled up in fetal positions all over the Democratic Party headquarters crying and bawling. Oh, man, you freaking phonies. All right, hold everything. Let's see. Pammy on 6. I got a news break line when it gets here. We'll get it. Hey, Pam, how's it going? Real fast. Oh, I'm sorry, Pam. I got to put you on hold. I'm sorry. Hate to do this. But our schedule's got to mess up. There's the newsbreaker line. Let's see who's on the old newsbreaker line. Good afternoon.
Kimmer, this is Donald Trump calling.
Hey, Donald.
I don't know if you noticed it or not.
Yeah.
I'm president-elect now, so I'm not put on hold for 7 minutes, okay? There's going to be some changes made. I'm not going to sit here and wait for Brett the truck driver, a dramatic recreation. If you want to talk to me, you better pick up, pal.
I'm so sorry. You're absolutely right, sir. Congrats, man.
On a side note to Kimmer listeners, I want to apologize for my behavior yesterday on your show. It was very, very negative. I was very pessimistic. I said I hated America. Screw this place, and I'm out of here. And I want to apologize. I don't know how to do that.
No, you don't. No, you
Maybe
don't.
the first time ever.
It might
but
be.
let me explain why I was so surly yesterday,
All right,
so
sir.
mean and so nasty. I just seen some numbers from WSB landmark polling, and I didn't realize in the last 3 elections that they were about as accurate as the Kimmer at the Sandy Springs Gun Club. I mean, they had me losing Georgia. See, nobody told me the WSB landmark polling, a division of the DNC,
That's right,
was the half-assed partisan outfit that gave us Governor Jason Carter and Senator Michelle Nunn. So I want to apologize.
Eric Erickson's the new Attorney General.
I told you I thought I was going to lose because WSB landmark diner polling. These guys couldn't call a pancake-eating contest between Wander from V103 and the late Karen Carpenter. So,
They're very inaccurate.
I'm in a much better mood than I was yesterday.
Apparently so, sir. Aren't we all?
Noticed that? Yeah. Well, now that I'm the president-elect, I plan to make good on all of the campaign promises that Donald Trump has made to the American people.
Excellent, sir.
I'm going to fully fund Obamacare. I'm going to get rid of the Border Patrol. I'm going to repeal the Second Amendment.
Sir.
I'm going to double the number of Syrian refugees.
Wait, sir.
I'm going to triple the budget for Planned Parenthood, and I'm going to nominate Michelle Obama to the Supreme Court. You know, all the things that I campaigned on.
Campaign promises.
You see, people forget that I was a liberal Democrat 5 minutes before I announced my candidacy.
We really don't want to bring up that part of it, sir.
I mean, I just mouthed a bunch of conservative crap to get elected. I mean, it's worked for Johnny Isaacson. Did I mention that I'm going to repeal the Second Amendment, take everybody's guns away?
Made me a little nervous there for a second, sir.
Yeah, single-payer health system is going to be great. It's going to be huge.
Huge.
I wonder if all the celebrities will make good on the threat of leaving the country.
Please, God.
Yeah, like Chelsea, the sausage handler, says she's going to move to Australia, you know. Right after she gets shots for the 2 STDs she's not currently carrying. Good riddance. Get the hell out of here. Screw them all. Lena Dunham's going to leave and go to Canada if she can fit in the freight department of the airplane. Maybe Amy Schumer can move to India where they worship cows. Great to be on the show.
President-elect Donald Trump right here.
I'm coming for your guns.
Jolly joker. The president-elect, what a country. Holy smokes. 12:39. All right, Pammy, we put you on hold again. Sorry, kiddo. How's it going? Welcome aboard. What do you think?
I feel so refreshed.
Good.
You remember that one from Blazing Saddles.
Absolutely.
Look,
the sheriff is near. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I kept picturing also the Wicked Witch of the West melting last night.
Oh, man. Can you imagine? How would you like to be the person who told her, who they had to be all in a room getting results of people phoning in things, because they weren't just watching TV. They had their insiders calling in from precincts around the country, and someone has had to have told her, it looks, you're not going to make it, ma'am. You're going to lose. Can you imagine being the guy who told her that? Oh.
And then the defibrillator. That's why she was late. That's why it took her an hour to come out. They kept having the defibrillator.
Yeah, I think it was fixing up the brain damage from her stroke that she had.
That's right.
Oh, my God. Well, we're all, Pammy, great to talk to you.
Look,
yeah.
The pollsters still hadn't figured out that Kimmer told us to lie to everybody.
That's right, those idiots.
Figured it out.
Absolutely. Thank you. Great talking to 1240. Oh, these idiots, even the pollsters, the guy from Virginia they get all the time on Fox News, and he said, we all screwed up. Every one of them screwed up. They've been wrong for a year. We all knew it. We were telling them you've been wrong for a year. The polls lied. The Democrats had the fix in for the press and the media. Hell, there's 7,000 members of CNN up on a building rooftop right now ready to jump, apparently. I guess Jeff Zucker, hold on a second. We have Jeff Zucker's out there on the sidewalk. People. Oh, sure, we lost. I know you tried to get Hillary elected, but we couldn't really do it. That was Jeff Zucker, you see.
What a world, what a world.
Chairman of the CNN, talking to people off the ledge. Hold on a minute. Stanley, my official, unofficial black guy. Hey, Stanley, how's it going, man?
I'm all right, Kim. I hope it's the plane background noise isn't messing up this call. I'm on the plane. I see Robert De Niro over there. Barbara
Streisand.
Look, I didn't expect to be on a flight with all these celebrities. I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, Al Sharpton may be gone with you. Spike Lee's on the way. Samuel L. Jackson, Cher, George Lopez. Raymond Simone, Whoopi Goldberg, Miley Cyrus, Ruth Bader Ginsburg said she's going to go to New Zealand. She's a Supreme Court justice.
She was the first one on the plane. You know, if you're in a wheelchair, you're the first to get on.
There you go.
But anyway,
she was hammered, that's all. She's not really crippled.
Real quick.
Just drunk. Yes,
sir.
You
made a good point about why she probably, Hillary didn't make her speech last night.
Yeah.
You know, can you imagine? This is her third time losing. She probably was so broke down, and I did hear on the news last night, she was told to go to her hotel room.
Yeah.
She probably was unable to make this speech.
I guarantee it. Stanley, we're all in this together, my friend. We're all in this together. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. And now, I guess I can cancel those I pre-ordered 47 new guns because I assumed that Hillary was going to win, so I guess I can save that money.
You're listening to the Kimmer Show replay on News Radio 106.7.
This is Mayor Rudy Giuliani, and this portion of our show is brought to you by President-elect Donald Trump. I was so excited last night, I almost soiled myself, suffering succotash. And now here's your host, Kim Peterson.
He's going to be Attorney General or something, you know. I mean, that's going to be the next fun thing is who's he going to, and that makes me a little nervous. Who's he going to put in there? He's not a politician, so who's he going to rely on to get, you know, the 200 most important people in the government? I hope he has a list. Oh, I don't know. I'm a little nervous about it. Anyway, we shall see. All right, more news lines coming at 12:50, and all your calls. Lines are jammed. We'll get on as many as I can. Quickly on our rapper Peppa from Salt and Peppa is 47 today. Actor Lou Ferrigno, who played the Hulk, is 65 years old. And it was on this day that Paul McCartney, in 1966, Paul McCartney was killed in a car crash. In 1966, it was 3 years later, that's when the Paul is dead hoax began. They said he'd been dead for 3 years in a car crash. It started in 1969. Anyway, look out, 12:50, two of the phones. Let's see, boom, bada boom. Who's been here? Brian, I guess, on News Radio 106.7. Michael's upset. I'll get to you shortly, Michael, and Kathy, and Dennis, and No Right. Hey, and CJ. Hey, Brian, how's it going? Welcome, sir.
Hey, Kimmer, how are you today?
Good. Welcome aboard.
Hey, I just had a few comments. One being up until the results last night that came in about 2:40-something in the morning.
Yeah.
People on Facebook and friends that were talking so much trash, they've completely disappeared.
I know. They're all weeping like little children.
Yeah, they disappeared. And anyway, secondly, one of Trump's talking points was, drain the swamp and talked about hiring a special prosecutor to look into Hillary Clinton. Do you think he should pursue that?
Absolutely.
I
don't think he should. I think there should be an investigation. They've started it. The FBI has all this stuff. They can't just drop it. They've got to continue. I think they should continue what they were doing. I don't think he should make a big deal about anything because it would seem like revenge. But I think they need to continue what they were doing and let the process work. If it leads to indictments and arrests, great. If it doesn't, then it's over. But at least you won. Brian, thanks, man. Here's the Newsmaker line, and I got to get to Michael and CJ. Hey, Newsmaker line, good afternoon.
Well, good afternoon, Kimmer. It's a historic.
Well, I wonder who this is. I can never tell by the voice who this might be.
Good afternoon. You guys try to cheer down on me. This is Robert De Niro calling. I'm sorry. I'm leaving the country. I'm going to leave. I'm out of here. Watch me. I'm leaving. Bye-bye. I'm gone. Nothing we can do. We tried. Hillary's gone. We tried. She's gone. There's nothing we can do. We tried. I'm sorry. I'm leaving. I'm out of here. Goodbye.
She's gone.
She's gone. We tried. There's nothing we can do. It didn't work out. Okay, it's not Robert.
It's Ronald Reagan. You tricked me again, you old sly devil. My golly.
Yeah. Oh. Did you see Hillary's press conference a few minutes ago? I fully expected her to go into Margaret Hamilton from The Wizard of Oz.
I'm melting. What a world! What a world! What a world!
That's what I expected.
That's what I expected too, sir.
Well, it was a big night for Donald Trump.
Yeah, big night.
Tough night for Richard Langford.
Oh, really?
It looks like the only way Richard Langford will be returning to the sheriff department will be in leg irons.
The old familiar way.
That's right. The best news for yours truly, Ronald Wilson Reagan, is the legacy-trashing Bush family is now blackballed by the GOP almost as much as Kimmer is shunned by the sales department. Okay, not that shunned.
Well, not quite that shunned. I mean, let's be
we're
reasonable.
talking Siberia outcasts here, Chachi. I noticed Harry Reid and his casino buddies managed to fix the voting machines and rig another election for Nevada for Hillary.
Hey, you've got one more. Yeah.
Hey, Senator Reid, I'm going to come over to the Capitol tomorrow and see you. You don't have my money for me? I'm going to crack your head wide freaking open. About the time I'm coming out of jail, hopefully you'll be coming out of your coma. And guess what, Senator Reid? I'll crack it open all over again, because that's what I do. I'll take out your rudder eye.
The soup spoon or something.
We know what you do. You screw people out of money, get away with it. See, that's the casino buddies.
Casino buddies in Nevada, in Vegas.
You can't talk to a man like that, Nicky. You're going to get his pinch. You're bringing down so much heat on me.
I thought you don't buy anything.
I mean, when I told you could come out here, back up there a minute, Ace. You told me I'm what matters out here. You told me. Needless to say, one day I'm going to do the whole movie.
You should. Hell, I got till 3. It's a 2.5 hour movie. We're in. Hey, boys, guess what?
Yeah, you better learn to count with your left hand. You know? Casino justice.
Yes, it is.
Bring out the chainsaw. Needless to say, my son, Ron Jr., the liberal bedwetting ballet dancer, is beside himself this morning.
Yeah.
Last night, Ron Jr., he flipped off a Trump supporter. He wasn't angry. He was just through.
I'm done.
As Raymond Burr once said, is it wrong for a man to flip off another man even when he isn't upset? No, I don't think so.
The room.
Mrs. Clinton, we tried. There's nothing. You're gone. You're gone. I'm sorry. You're gone.
It's gone.
Didn't work out. We had a problem.
Ronald Reagan and friends. Right
Hey,
here.
Hillary, why don't you go home and get your freaking shine box? She'd make your shoes look like freaking mirrors. She was the best. Thank you so much.
There's Ronald Reagan right here. I'm going to wet my pants. 12:56. All right, quickly. I need a fast one here. Michael, if you can hold on, because he's upset with me. It may take a little. I'm going to give you a little extra time. CJ, News Radio 106.7. CJ on the radio, man. What's up? What do you think?
Hey, thank you. Thank you for your service, Mr. Peterson.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And thanks, Jim Gossett and Pete Davis. You guys are awesome.
Thank you. You're very kind.
You make an argument, or you often say that the Constitution doesn't afford us any right to never be offended.
Yes, sir.
I think that's just an incredibly concise way of making an awesome point and a very kind of a muddled argument, you know.
Well, I think we just need to all grow up. You know, we need to act like men need to act like men, and women act like women, and just stop the nonsense and be forward and straight about everything, and just stop the political correct crap. It doesn't have a place in America.
Yes, sir.
I love it.
Yeah,
CJ. Yeah, go ahead. Real fast. Yeah.
About abortion, my grandfather made the point to me. It's illegal to mess with eagle eggs, and yet in this country, we have late-term abortion in some places. I mean, how backwards is that?
I know. Okay, I got it right. Believe me, we can't get into the abortion argument today, although we just had the last year of it politically.
This is the Kimmer Show replay on News Radio 106.7.
This is Mike Tyson, and you're listening to a replay of the Kim Peterson Show. I'm not sure why. The Kimmer Show's so bad, Evander Holyfield heard it and then asked me to bite off his other ear. Anyway, listen to the Kimmer, weekdays noon to 3, if you can stand it, on News Radio 106.7.
When the Kimmer starts to make sense, it's time to double your medication.
All right,
the Kimmer Show on News Radio 106.7.
Funny, Mr. Funny Man. 104. How's it going? It's only me. Lines are kind of jammed. I'll try to get as many on as I can as quickly as I can. I haven't been very good at it so far. Michael is a good example. I swear I'm coming right to you. There's a new word out now on a holiday special. I guess they can't call it a Christmas special. Taraji Henson's holiday special will include Alicia Keys. What? Taraji? Taraji? It's Taraji, isn't it that?
The fact that she has a Christmas special.
That's hard to believe. Anyway, Alicia Keys, Missy Elliott, Pharrell Williams, let's see, Daryl McDaniels of Run DMC, Snoop Dogg, Taye Diggs, TLC, people from the show Empire, all in the lineup for Taraji's White Hot Holidays. It'll air on Fox December 8th.
She was good on Person of Interest.
Oh, yeah, she's a good actor, and she had a lot of good things. Yeah. Oh, yeah. 105, it's on the Kimmer, 844-404-1067. I got all your calls, got newsbreaker lines. Hillary couldn't even beat Trump. Oh, my God. But first, Michael's very upset, and I want to get right to you. Michael, thank you for your patience. I appreciate it very much. You are on the radio, sir. Welcome.
How you doing?
Hi, good. What's going on?
Well, I listen to your show every day. Don't get me wrong. I'm not mad with you because you're funny people on that show. And I did vote for Hillary Clinton, but
okay.
I'm okay with Donald winning because he can't do no more than the next president.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? It's up to all of us to hold him up to what he said he was going to do. See what I'm talking about? I'm okay with it. So what I don't like about it is when people on the show is not setting an example for the young generation, calling the president chicken heads and pretty head and hit him, run. I think you need to address that tone and realize that we got kids looking at your show like I do. And I mean, you're funny, like I said, I like you, but I think you need to address that way you talk about the president and other people.
Well, I'd be very happy to explain it. My feelings about it are that I think Barack Obama was a completely incompetent selection as president. He had no back.
Well, like this right here, I think he was the great. If it weren't for him, you probably wouldn't have a radio station going on right now.
Oh, my God. No, because of him, Michael, I'm making 1/3 the money I used to make under Republican leadership. Let me say it again. Under Putty-Tat, I am making 1/3 of the money I made during a Republican leadership 20 freaking years ago.
Thank Bush for that. Thank George W. Bush for that.
I am thanking Republicans.
Thank you, Bush, that you making less money because if it weren't for Obama, you probably won't be making nothing. Bush, damn, you ran the country in the ground.
Michael, why do you think...
Y'all blame it all on Obama. You got to give the man credit. The man that come in here and straighten out 8 years.
He didn't straighten out anything, Michael. He ruined the economy. Race relations are working. Wait a minute now. You want me to react to this? Now, just wait a second, and I'm going to explain. The man made the racial division in this country worse than ever. The economy's worse than ever. This business about jobs coming back is a crock. Most of it's part-time. People haven't even continued looking for work. Our international relations are a joke. Iran just passed a nuclear deal and then laughed at us and took our sailors hostage on the open seas. He kept a Marine down at... Well, see, you won't listen to me. You just don't want to hear it, Michael. Let me just say this. I respect the difference you have in the way I talk about the president. I'm not changing. The man is a disgrace. He's a coward. He's a loser and a disgraceful executive in charge of running our country, especially as commander-in-chief. And I think children should know it. I think children should know that people have the right to say what's on their mind if they truly believe it. What?
This man came in and straightened out what Bush messed up. This man inherited this stuff.
Okay.
He didn't cause anything. This man trying to fix up what Bush messed up.
Okay.
This man inherited this stuff. He didn't come in here and mess it up. It was already messed up when he got here.
Michael, I'm very grateful that you held on all this very long time, and I appreciate the fact we are going to always be different about this. But once again, like we say, no one has the right to never be offended. So I don't care whether people are offended that I call this current president a freaking loser and a coward and a liar and an incompetent boob. A coward, the chicken. He deserted his office in the White House, and children should know about it. And this is up to you, Michael. If you think their kids are being affected by stuff I say about the president, then why don't you talk to him? Make it a learning experience. Say, listen, boys and girls, you hear this guy on the radio? I really disagree with him. He's saying really terrible, terrible things about the president. But let's listen to what he says and see if we agree. And if we do, fine. If we don't, then let's tell them so, like you did, Michael. We had a disagreement. But that doesn't mean that I'm doing something bad for the children. Hell, I'm teaching the children. They ought to hear this. Somebody's got to tell them, because God knows you're not telling them. It starts at the home, pal. But I'm glad you called. I mean, honestly, I mean no disrespect, but kids ought to learn this. Kids need to learn this. And this is the greatest political history lesson in the history of our country. This is as important as the meeting when they worked at the convention to come up with a Bill of Rights and the Constitution, for God's sakes. This is, well, not quite, maybe, but this is at least number 2. It's come very, very close. Pete's going, no, it's not. It's not any close, man. But it's an extremely important event that just happened in our country. Let's learn from it. Let's realize, hey, all you idiots in power were wrong. Every one of you was wrong. You lied on your pledge when you said you were going to back the presidential candidate for the GOP. Every damn one of you lied about it. And then Paul Ryan, oh my God, did you hear Paul Ryan coming on, the Speaker of the House this morning? He says, well, this goes to show that we can all get along together now and bring the unity to the party that we've always... You didn't bring unity, you divided the party. You tried to get Hillary elected, you damn phony liar. Give me a break. What a bunch of... And now they're coming out and saying, oh, well, it shows we're all together here. All together. And Hillary comes out in her little piece of crap speech she made. She says, well, I still believe that we're stronger together. Hillary, you had the most divisive campaign in the history of the world. And let me say this. Talking about young people who are all upset about stuff, they're not upset about you, Hillary. They're upset about you, Hillary, bashing their candidate, Bernie Sanders. These are the millennials who wanted Bernie Sanders, and you destroyed his chances of ever getting the nomination. You did it deliberately. You did it because you're a sneak, and you're deliberate because you're a damn black-hearted devil spawn, and you're never going to change. And I say, good riddance, you piece of white trash. Take your scumbag, racist, rapist husband and go right the hell back to Arkansas in a freaking double-wide and shut up. It's over. You are a loser. You're a disgrace, and we're sending you packing. And by the way, don't steal the furniture and the silverware this time. Remember all the loads of stuff she had to give back there? She took trailers and trailers of stuff out of the White House when her husband... Yeah. Not this time, baby.
This is the Kimmer Show replay on News Radio 106.7.
This is Richard Dawson, 100 people survey, top 5 answers on the board. What would you call someone who listens to a replay of the Kimmer Show? Show me a pathetic loser. Number 1 answer. Listen to the Kimmer, weekdays noon to 3 on News Radio 106.7.
No.
This is Dr. Ben Carson.
Ben Carson.
And this portion of our show is brought to you by President-elect Donald Trump.
Yes.
I was so excited last night.
Yes.
I almost registered a pulse. And now, here's your host, the
Kimmer. It's the Kimmer. Thank you. By the way, Pete saw him last night. He's not looking too good. It's like he might be... I don't know. Anyway, you think he'll be part of the Trump team? We'll see. I mean, what is he going to do with Chris Christie, Rudy Giuliani? I mean, well, I'll bet Christie's going to be something. But that Bridgegate may still be following him. I don't think Trump wants anything to do with that. Anyway. Hey, 119, I got your calls. Here we go. News Break Lines 2. Cubs fever. Steve Goodman released this song, Go Cubs Go, in 1984. Well, it just made its way back out of the Billboard charts for the first time since 84, number 21. All right, 84 was the year I hit a home run at Wrigley Field, the year that Leon Durham blew the division to the Padres by letting that ball go through his legs on first base. 120, to the phones, hold everything. Kathy, I guess, here on News Radio 106.7. Hey, Kathy, thanks for holding. You're on the radio finally.
Hey, Kimmer, after that last segment, please tell Pete that I want to put $5 more into the When Will Kimmer Have His Next Heart Attack pool. No, wait, make it 10. Make it 10.
Yeah, what's the over-under on that anyway?
Yeah, please, let me know.
By the way, my heart attack anniversary is coming up on Thursday, just for the record, tomorrow.
Oh, okay, then I want my $10 on tomorrow.
Okay.
Hey, I had jury duty today in Fulton County, and when we got down there, they corral you and everybody has to go through security.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a lady standing in the security line, and as every white person walked past, she was yelling at us saying, look, just because Donald Trump is in power now, don't be thinking that you're going to put all these innocent black men in jail.
Oh, God. Are you serious?
Yes. and she was saying like things like along that line to everybody as they walked past, every white person. And then somebody toward the front of the line told one of the deputies, and this huge guy went back there, and he very politely escorted her out of the building. But the thing is, there's people that really believe that.
It's the race card. It's the race factor. It's like the Black Lives Matter thing. All lives matter, but if you say it, you're a racist. I mean,
know.
It's just, well, they rely on that, Kathy. I'm glad you called. I got Newsbreak I got to go to. But it's because it's easy. It's easy for them to say, oh, well, you white people got all the privilege, man. And then therefore they don't have to take responsibility for their own failure. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Newsbreak line. Let's see who's on the old Newsbreak line. Good afternoon.
Bring it here.
No, you're
Bring it to me.
Oh, no, you almost had it, sir.
This is Secretary of State for not much longer, John effing Kerry calling.
That's for sure there, sir.
I'm reporting for duty, by the way.
You said duty.
I was nowhere near Danny Thomas's coffee table.
No, I wouldn't even know what that means, sir.
I don't either. Boy, it's a sad day for Democrats, Kemmer.
Yes, it is a sad day.
Who just 30 minutes ago woke up to the news that Hillary was defeated. I wonder who's going to break it to VA Director Leslie Wiggins when she rolls out of bed. It's the crack of two. They're downright suicidal over at the AJC, the Al Jazeera Constitution.
I'll bet, sir.
By the way, the AJC still hasn't called the state of Florida for Donald Trump.
No, they wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, pinko plagiarist Marxist Mike Lukovich is on suicide watch. And over 300 ex-subscribers called Mike to see if he needs any help. On your mark.
Trump!
I feel bad for Hillary because John effing Kerry, did I mention that I served in Vietnam?
I heard something about that for the 2 weeks.
I owe Mrs. Clinton a debt of gratitude.
Gratitude, sir?
Absolutely. Thanks to Hillary, John Kerry, will go down as the second worst Secretary of State in American history. I mean,
that's
like
right.
being 49th in education and saying, thank God for Mississippi. Where they teach the 3 R's, you know.
The 3 R's?
Reading, writing, and wrestling. By the way,
yes, sir.
The FBI is still investigating the Clinton Foundation.
Oh, yeah, right.
With no Loretta Lynch around to protect him, I got to believe Bill and Hillary are sweating like a village person at the CDC waiting room right now. That's one way of putting it.
That's the way I like to look at it.
There's other options, of course. But even though our side lost last night, Kimmer, you got to give Mr. Trump his due.
His due, sir.
Like they say, to the victor goes the spoils.
Yes, sir, Victor.
But enough about the Trump victory dinner at the Ansley Golf Club.
That spoils, you see. Spoiled kitchen food.
See, it was supposed to be a surprise, but typical Ansley Golf Club, they went ahead and spoiled it.
They spoiled it. They spoiled the dinner in advance, didn't they?
Now it's time for Lurchnack the Magnificent.
Lurchnack the Magnificent, sir.
The answer is, I'm ready for Hillary.
I'm ready for Hillary.
What's the new sign outside the Reedsville State Prison? Lock her up.
Lock her up.
Great to be on the show.
Secretary of State right here, John effing Kerry.
Danny Thomas.
Never mind. Thank you so much, sir. 844-404-1067. Let's see. Here's Dennis on News Radio 106.7. Dennis, thanks for holding out a radio finally. What's up, man?
Good afternoon, Gamer. Simplify.
Thank you.
Nothing could have been more pleasurable last night than switching from Fox to PMSNBC.
Oh, what was that? I couldn't watch
Chris
it.
Matthews.
Yeah, Chris Matthews. Yeah, what were they like?
I think Chris Matthews had a tingling going down his leg, but I came out the other side this time rather than the front side like 2008. So, it's just beautiful to see his face squirm.
I know, Dennis. In fact, we were watching him on NBC or on CNN. Panel discussions, and they all look like they're weeping. I mean, they all look like they can't believe that their girl lost. They tried so hard to get her elected. I mean, this is a scandal. And I'm telling you, if there is, well, of course, journalism is basically dead. Journalism is so different than what it used to be. I mean, actual reporting in journalism is not even close to what it used to be. But this should be a case study, not only in politics, but also in the media. What just happened in the last year or year and a half is astounding. This is textbook stuff. You're living through an experience that most Americans for generations, for hundreds of years, will never have. Never had and never will have. I mean, this is really unbelievable what happened. Hold on. Mike's got a little advice for the Kimmer. I did something wrong. Hello, Mike. What you got for me, buddy?
Mike, Kimmer, don't let these liberals. You got me riled up with Michael, that last caller.
Yes, sir.
Don't let them get you riled up, Kimmer. Let's enjoy the day, and we're going to enjoy the next 8 years. And you told Michael right. The unemployment is up by 22%, and the race barrier is greater than it's ever been because of Obama.
That's right.
And I want to say this to Michael, if he's still listening. The one thing that Obama did keep his promise when he got into office, he supplied every family with 100 pounds of Soylent Green.
Soylent Green, I knew it. By the way, and hold on, I got Larry in Jersey and Trevor and Kevin. I'll be right with you, I promise. But can you imagine the first day if Trump gets into office? I hope to God he has a live camera in there, a feed of him taking all those executive orders, every one of those executive orders, and every single one. Right into the shredder. Man, is that going to be great. Obamacare, you're next.
The Kimmer Show replay on News Radio 1067.
This is Robin Leach. You're listening to a replay of The Kimmer Show, and I don't know why. Be sure to tune into The Kimmer Monday through Friday, noon to 3 on News Radio 1067.
Hey, this is Harry Carey, and this portion of our show is brought to you by the Georgia GOP. I bet this morning they're sporting more wood than 84 lumber. Holy cow! And now here's your host, the Kimmer.
Thank you so much, Harry. 1:35. We got newsmaker lights coming up. In case if you missed a couple of them already, you don't want to miss them after 2. I'll get them all on again for you. The election +1. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought? Hillary Rodham Soprano couldn't even beat Donald Trump. Thank God for America. Nick Lachey, 98 degrees, 43 today. Former squeeze of Jessica Simpson. Are they still together? They're not still together by a long shot. That was a long time ago. Nick Lachey, 43 years old today. A couple of historical notes. It was on this day. This had to be extremely exciting. 1620. Put yourself in the year 1620 on a boat, a ship, crossing the ocean, which probably took weeks at the time. 1620, the passengers and crew of the Mayflower sighted Cape Cod. Land ahoy. Which actually said, bring it out a live reenactment. No, we don't. And also in 1930, I got all your calls on it. In 1938, Nazis looted and burned synagogues and Jewish stores in Germany and Austria. It became known as Kristallnacht, which means crystal night, the night of the broken glass. And that's where they got the phrase when all the windows were being smashed in Germany and Austria and all the synagogues were looted and burned. They broke all the windows, broke all the glass, and the people remembered it as the night of all the shattered glass, and they called it Crystal Night. Kind of a long explanation there. What? Like I've done something wrong. 1:36. It's only the Kimmer. News Radio 1067. 844-404-1067. I got your calls quickly. You know who Chris Evans is, right? Chris Evans is Captain America. Okay? Captain America. Here's what Chris Evans, Captain America, says about the election last night. It was embarrassing for America. We've let a hate monger lead our great nation. We've let a bully set our course. I'm devastated. Mr. Captain Chris Evans America. Really? Hate monger? Embarrassing? A bully? You're devastated? Gee. Too bad America's giving you, everything. Oh, man, these freaking phonies. I hate them the worst. What is his claim to fame? What does he do? Okay, he picks up a piece of paper and memorizes the words and then says them back. And he's making $40 million a day in his checking account, and he's bitching about America's leadership, which hasn't even happened yet. Trump hasn't even taken over yet. What a fool. I mean, don't you hate ingrates like this? Where in the world would he be able to do what he's doing, Captain America, anywhere in the world other than America? God, it just makes me freaking nuts. Trevor on News Radio 1067, going right down the line. Trevor, thanks for holding on to radio, sir.
Yes, sir. How are you doing today?
Good. What's going on?
Nothing much. I just got a question on, what's going to happen to FBI Director James Comey now that, or whenever Trump takes office.
I think, if I understand correctly, I think he has a deal for 2 more years, if I'm not mistaken.
He's in the 3rd year of a 10-year term, but I bet he's fired.
Well, here's what happens. To answer your question, Trevor, I believe this is still true. Every department head, every cabinet secretary, everybody of any importance at all in the government signs a letter of resignation effective the day of the inauguration. Trump will have the opportunity to accept or reject it. I have to assume he's going to get rid of Comey, or Comey will want to resign or something. I don't know that, but I'm guessing. I mean, I would want a clean house after the scandal of Comey and the FBI and the Attorney General and meeting with Clinton and the secrecy and the fix was in. I think he's got to go. Trump can fire him. I'm sure Trump. I assume Trump can fire him. The contract isn't set in stone. But all the cabinet secretaries already have a letter of resignation, and he will accept or reject depending on what he wants people to do as he transitions. But I assume Comey's out. I can't imagine he'd want. And Loretta Lynch, for that matter, too. She's got to go. Yeah. Attorney General. She's got to go.
Well, thank you for the clarification, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Trevor. 139 News Radio 106.7 Jersey. Now you're calling from New Jersey, or is that your name, Jersey?
No, that's my name.
Hi, welcome aboard. What do you think?
All right, Cameron, I just want to tell you first, I love the show. It makes me giggle. I love that. Okay, second.
Yes.
I went on Facebook this morning because I did stay up till 2:47 to find out who the president was.
Yes, ma'am.
And then I went on Facebook, and all my Uncle Pookies were asleep. But they made up for it by 8 o'clock in the morning. All my Uncle Pookies were asleep.
He stayed on the couch.
They were up by 8, flashing everything, and I said, you know what? Send me all your hate crimes. I'm proud. I'm white. And you know what? Yeah, obviously I'm a girl, but you know what? There are times that you just don't put one in office. And this happens to be the one you just don't put in office. And the hate crimes on Facebook.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry, I missed part of that, Jersey. What, did you say date crimes? Hate crimes?
No, hate crimes. I mean, they're talking about, let's assassinate them, all this other nonsense they're saying on Facebook, and I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Isn't it funny, though, Jersey?
I just told them.
They were all worried.
I told him about Chickenhead that he has to understand that he wanted Uncle Pookie to go out and vote the way he wanted, and it just didn't work out like that.
Yeah. And thanks, Jersey. And they were worried that it was going to be Republicans. Remember, they said, they're going to get their guns, boy. They're going to the White House. They're going to have a revolution. They were worried about conservatives doing it. It's the liberals who now are apoplectic. They're laying in fetal positions, weeping, talking about overthrowing Trump before he even starts. Let's get to Larry on News Radio 106.7. Larry, how's it going? Thanks for holding, man. You're on the radio.
Well, good afternoon, Kimber, and to all the listening family out there, I just want to have a serious note.
All right.
It's 11/9. And on 9/11, the towers fell. Today, on 11/9, we came together as Americans to build a nation. God bless us all.
Semper Fi, Larry. I like the way you think. That'll happen. That'll happen. For one thing, here, what a great example of, once again, the change in the most powerful leadership, the most powerful nation in the world without firing a single shot. Nobody had to go to prison. Oh, they're going to go to prison later. We're going to catch the Clinton team, the Crime Foundation people. But isn't it amazing when you think about it? All the hatred, all the spewing of the vitriolic speech and the vicious attacks and so forth, and yet we'll have a transition of power. Putty Tat will shake hands with Trump. There'll be can you imagine them riding together in a limousine after a nice breakfast on Inauguration Day? And Pete was saying, when Putty Tat was making his speech a little while ago, Pete was saying, wouldn't it be funny as hell if Trump was in the background with a tape measure, just measuring entrances, and well, we're going to put a couch over here. How funny would that have been? Anyway, a peaceful transition. Nobody fired a shot, and we're going to have a new president after 8 years, and it's going to be fine.
You're listening to the Kimmer Show replay on News Radio 106.7.
How the hell are you? It's me, Tony Soprano. And you're listening to a replay of The Kim Peterson Show, a program that's so bad, my nephew Christopher heard it and asked me to suffocate him. Anyway, The Kim is on, noon to 3, weekdays on News Radio 106.7.
Stand by.
Friends, this is Larry King, and this portion of our show is brought to you by CNN.
CNN.
Last night they had more long faces than John Kerry's family reunion. And now here's your host until Friday, the Kimmer.
Thank you so much, Larry. Yeah, they're curled up in fetal positions, weeping. And by the way, Pete tells me there were riots in California, at college campuses in California last night over Trump. Yeah, right. Nice, peaceful transition. But God forbid. And by the way, it was the Democrats who hired thugs, paid money to thugs to cause violence at Trump rallies during the primaries. Remember that, too. That was Podesta and the boys. Unbelievable. Here's, this is Scarface from Ghetto Boys. He is 46 today. All right, Scarface, good. Doing all right, buddy? Let's see, a couple of birthdays. Charlie Robinson, the actor from Night Court, 71. Robert David Hall from CSI, 68. Eric Dane from Grey's Anatomy, 44. Nikki Blonsky from Hairspray, 28. And bass player Barry Knox of Parmalee is 39 today. 151. By the way, Hillary Rodham was late today because she took time. She apparently, Chelsea was changing clothes in her special trailer. And Hillary was very upset at the way Chelsea was acting so shiftlessly with her belongings.
Hangers! What's wire hangers doing in this closet when I told you no wire hangers ever?
I'm sorry, Mommy. 151, News Radio 1067. Here's, we have double Kevins. Kevin on News Radio 1067 and News Megaline coming up and Mike too. Hey, Kevin, you're on the radio. What's up?
Hey, first off, Kimmer, let me just say that the thought of Hillary changing clothes in a trailer is not something you should mention after people have eaten lunch.
I'm so sorry. You're correct.
But the question I wanted to ask you is, what do you think the probability, or I guess probability is better than possibility, of presidential pardons for Hillary and her entire crew,
yeah.
And would that absolve her from any future prosecutions?
Absolutely, or at least concerning what she's done in the past. You remember Gerald Ford pardoned Richard Nixon, and a lot of people were outraged about that, but it was the way Gerald Ford picked to try to get over it. Just say, okay, it's time to move on. This is different, though, Kevin. I think if Puttitat pardoned Hillary and her staff, it's her staff who are also in big trouble. Uma Abedin, sorry, and some of her other top leaders were the ones who were lying about subpoenas and releasing or hiding emails they were told to, all the various things. So I think they're still in line for a possible prosecution. But I wouldn't be surprised if Puttitat pardons Hillary for any possible crimes leading up to as of today. Absolutely. Oh, well, hold on, News Megaline. Let's use on the old News Megaline. Good afternoon.
Kim Peterson, Mitt Romney calling.
Hey, Mitt. Hey, look who won the election, buddy.
Well, I want to congratulate my good friend, President-elect Donald Trump, a man that I was behind 100% from day one. He announced his candidacy. I'm Mitt Romney. I worked tirelessly to get my friend Donald Trump elected. I campaigned around the clock to help Donald. I
don't really think you did that, sir.
Got enough sucking up.
Oh, man. You bunch of
sufficient
phonies.
Groveling,
Backstabbers.
I know. I kind of feel like Michael Graham when he begged Kruger to let him come in Friday and say goodbye to his 3 listeners. I mean, I have no shame either, obviously.
Begging isn't going to work here either, sir.
I understand Michael was seen in a booth yesterday, not a voting booth. It was some hole in the wall.
Small theater. Takes quarters only.
Operating the hand crank, because
exactly.
Advancing the movie, I guess.
Frame at a time.
We did that with his knees. But what the hell is going on in New Hampshire?
New Hampshire, sir.
Cameron, my God, the polls have been closed for 10 hours.
Yeah.
Only 12 people live up there, and we still don't have a result.
I don't get it.
I mean, who the hell's counting the ballots in New Hampshire? Forrest Gump or something? You can tell a lot about people by the votes they cast. If they work, if they pay their taxes, if they sit at home and suck off the government. That's all I got to say about that.
Yes, you do, sir.
Who the hell's helping him out? Benny from L.A. Law? Stop talking, Ernie. I lost count.
Gee, Ernie.
One for Trump. But, it is a great day for us loyal Trump supporters.
Yeah,
me and Eric Erickson and Glenn Beck and all of us.
Be fired.
We don't want to gloat, though.
No.
We want, the other side is hurting today, so I met Romney.
Yes, sir.
And a show of unity has invited a message for all Hillary supporters from my good friend at Bushwood Country Club. Would you welcome to the Kimmer Show, Judge Smales.
Judge Smales, a message for the losing side. Welcome, Judge. Welcome.
Thank you, Governor Romney. Thank you, Kimmer.
Yes, sir.
I have composed a brief poem for all Hillary supporters.
All right, sir.
It's easy to cry with a tear in your eye when America made its decision. But the Hillary worthwhile is the Hillary who smiles at the thought of an all-women's prison. You do the honors, Spooky.
Spotty, get your foot off the boat.
Hey, it's my buddy. I want to go over there.
Over there. It's Swanson.
Great to be in the
Thank
show.
you so much, gentlemen.
I should have stayed home and played solitaire.
It was something. Thank you so much, boys.
Everybody gets ladies.
Thank you. 156 News Radio 106.7. Hold everything. Let's see. Mike has a question. Doc, Brett, Kevin, I'll come in. Mike on the radio. Welcome, man. What's up?
Hey, Kim, we're glad to hear you on the air this morning after a great, momentous night.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I got a question for you. Do you think the Hillary and Bill arrangement that they call a marriage is now over, that the power grab is over between them?
Yeah. In fact, I'll bet he's looking at her and says, I did everything I could to give you this presidency, and you blew it because you got caught being a liar. And they'll, I don't see them cuddling and doing sweet nothing talks and little kisses in their ears and stuff and around their neck together. I think it's all. I think this arrangement now means she's going to tell Bill, do whatever you want. I don't give a damn. They'll still be officially married. They'll never get divorced, but they have separate lives. In fact, he may not even live with her. They may pick a different state. For all I
think she may want to stay in office just to keep her hands in the political arena. But I think he's done. I think he's ready to go.
Oh, he's
get his willy wet and get things done.
Yeah.
You know.
There you go, Mike. I appreciate it. I don't think Clinton's going to live very long. Bill Clinton. Yeah, and she's out. She's done. I don't think no one's going to hire her for anything. Now she'll get some kind of. She may get some kind of an honorarium as a leader of international something or the United Nations or a committee or something, a peace committee of the world global crap. But Bill Clinton, he looks to me like he's not going to live long. He looks bad.
This is the Kimmer Show replay on News Radio 106.7.
This is Vince Vaughn, and you're listening to a replay of the Kimmer Show. It's too bad I didn't crash the Kimmer's wedding. He might still have his house. Listen to the Kimmer, weekdays, noon to 3, on News Radio 106.7.
Look out.
The Kimmer has a face that could have been painted by Monet.
Oh, thank you.
By Monet's left hand.
Uh-oh.
The Kimmer Show on News Radio 106.7.
Left-handed, one-handed or something? I don't know much about Mr. Monet. Right-handed. All right, 205. Kate Smith, sing it, baby. Stand beside her. Wasn't this the song that Nixon used to play on the piano all the time? I think he used to. He knew a couple of songs, and I think he used to play this one for the president. Kate Smith, God Bless America. Once again, a change in power without a single shot being fired. Of course, the liberals are going to try to get back at somebody, but that's just because it's in their nature. Like, really, she never deserved to be president, and America didn't want her to be president, so duh. God. Anyway, it's only the Kimmer, 844-404-1067. Quote, Donald Trump will never be president in my lifetime. Signed, Janet Reno. Sorry. Hey, oh. And another meme going around here, too. A picture of Hillary Rodham with her neck gina going nuts and screaming and yelling at people. And the writing says, Hillary is finding out how it feels to be aborted just before delivery. Oh, wow. That's harsh. I hold everything. Let's see. It's Brett the truck driver on News Radio 106.7. Hello, Brett.
How's it going, Cameron?
What's up, man?
Hey, were you surprised like I was that Johnny Isaacson won his seat again?
No, there was no way anybody's going to beat him. I'm surprised he didn't need a runoff, but no, I'm not surprised.
Well, I thought it was because in the beginning his campaign was a little shaky, right?
A little shaky. Oh, holy man, there's Parkinson's, Phil. Well, we were hoping he'd ban himself like before, but we keep giving him the opportunity. Hold on. I got Doc and Kevin in the newsbreak on. You don't want to miss. Some of the celebrities reacting to the Donald Trump victory. Cher, the world will never be the same. Ariana Grande, in tears. Madonna, we never give up. Actor Steven Seagal, congratulations at Real Donald Trump for your stunning victory over your opponent. Looking forward to making America great again, Steven Seagal. Also, Stephen Baldwin, a supporter, saying, I couldn't be more proud for an amazing history. Rashida Jones, that little hottie from The Office and all those other shows, says it was a dark day. Christina Applegate says she is heartbroken. Lady Gaga says, in a room full of hope, we will be heard. Katy Perry, who, by the way, was offering to sodomize all the NBA teams if they would vote for Hillary, and apparently is well along on the way of success. Katy Perry says, we will never be silenced. Rapper Macklemore, I was disappointed, shocked, and shaken at my core by what transpired tonight. And the worst one, I just can't believe it. What an idiot. Chris Evans, Mr. Captain America, Chris Evans, says, quote, it was embarrassing for America. We've let a hate monger lead our great nation. We've let a bully set our course. I'm devastated. Gee, maybe you should move with all your friends. And let's hold them to it, by the way. All right, 207. 208, let's call it. Doc on News Radio 1067. Doc, you on the radio. What's up, man?
Super Fun, Cameron, I'm one of your despicable and
deplorables,
repulsive Marine brothers.
Excellent. Semper Fi, my friend.
Forsyth, Georgia.
Yes, sir.
Being that she's sitting there saying, let's all come together and everybody's good, why does she call it deplorable? We all know she always hated the Marine Corps anyway.
Absolutely.
And the way around the pardoning is convict her after the inauguration.
Right, yeah. They can't pardon her for what she made. Well, he can pardon her for past crimes, but he can't pardon her for anything else in the future. So, but I think she's going to get away with it. You know she's going to skate. I think some of her staff members are. Yeah, she may not be Teflon.
Bill made out of the same stuff.
I know. God, just good riddance. That's just thank God the white trash is now leaving Washington. Forever, hopefully. 209. Hold on, Kevin. I'll get you. You got a newsmaker line. Good afternoon.
Well, good afternoon, Kimmer. It's a historic.
Well, I wonder who this is. I can never tell by the voice who this might be.
Good afternoon. You guys try to cheer down on me. This is Robert De Niro calling. I'm sorry. I'm leaving the country. I'm going to leave. I'm out of here. Watch me. I'm leaving. Bye-bye. I'm gone. Nothing we can do. We tried. Hillary's gone. We tried. She's gone. There's nothing we can do. We tried. I'm sorry. I'm leaving. I'm out of here. Goodbye.
She's gone.
She's gone. She's gone. You know, we tried. There's nothing we can do. It didn't work out. Okay, it's not Robert.
It's Ronald Reagan. You tricked me again, you old sly devil. My golly.
Yeah. Oh. Did you see Hillary's press conference a few minutes ago? I fully expected her to go into Margaret Hamilton from The Wizard of Oz. Hamilton, what a world! What a world! What a world! That's what I expected.
That's what I expected too, sir.
Well, it was a big night for Donald Trump.
Yeah, big night.
Tough night for Richard Lankford.
Oh, really?
It looks like the only way Richard Lankford will be returning to the sheriff department will be in leg irons.
The old familiar way.
That's right. The best news for yours truly, Ronald Wilson Reagan, is the legacy trashing Bush family is now blackballed by the GOP almost as much as Kimmer is shunned by the sales department. Okay, not that shunned.
Well, not quite that shunned. Let's be reasonable.
We're talking Siberia outcast here, Chachi. I noticed Harry Reid and his casino buddies managed to fix the voting machines and rig another election for Nevada for Hillary.
Yeah, you get one more. Yeah.
Hey, Senator Reid, I'm going to come over to the Capitol tomorrow and see you. You don't have my money for me? I'm going to crack your head wide freaking open. About the time I'm coming out of jail, hopefully you'll be coming out of your coma. And guess what, Senator Reid? I'll crack it open all over again because that's what I do. I'll take out your rudder eye.
The soup spoon or something.
We know what you do. You screw people out of money, get away with it. See, that's the casino buddies.
Casino buddies in Nevada, in Vegas.
You can't talk to a man like that, Nicky. You're going to get his pinch. You're bringing down so much heat on me.
I thought you don't buy anything.
I mean, when I told you could come out here, back up there a minute, Ace, you told me I'm what matters out here. You told me? Needless to say, one day I'm going to do the whole movie.
You should. Hell, I got till 3. It's a 2.5 hour movie. We're in. Hey, boys, guess what?
Yeah, you better learn to count with your left hand. You know? Casino justice.
Yes, it is.
Bring out the chainsaw. Needless to say, my son, Ron Jr., the liberal bedwetting ballet dancer, is beside himself this morning.
Yeah.
Last night, Ron Jr., he flipped off a Trump supporter. He wasn't angry. He was just through.
I'm done.
As Raymond Burr once said, is it wrong for a man to flip off another man even when he isn't upset? No, I don't think so. But
the room.
Mrs. Clinton, we tried. There's nothing. You're gone. You're gone. I'm sorry. You're gone.
He's gone.
Didn't work out. We had a problem.
Ronald Reagan and friends. Right
hey,
here.
Hillary, why don't you go home and get your freaking shine box? She'd make your shoes look like freaking mirrors. She was the best. Thank you so much.
Ronald.
This is the Kimmer Show replay on News Radio 1067.
This is Walter Cronkite, and you're listening to a replay of the Kim Peterson Show. You know, Hangman and John Boy have worked very hard putting this together, and all I can say is, it's a shame. Listen to the Kimmer weekdays noon to 3 on News Radio 1067.
This is Morgan Freeman, and this portion of our show is brought to you by WSB Landmark Polling, about as accurate as Kimmer's opening tee shot at the Brookfield Country Club. 4 left! And now here's your host, Kim Peterson.
Sorry about your window. Play class, was it? Nothing anymore. At 219, couple of birthdays. Baseball Hall of Famer Whitey Herzog, 85. Hall of Famer Bob Gibson. Man, there was a force on the mound. Bob Gibson, 81 today. And now, holy crap, it's sports with Pete Davis.
If I had to pick 3 right-handed pitchers on my team for all time, he would be one of the 3.
Absolutely.
What a peaceful, easy commute into work this morning. It's like half the country picked up and moved to Canada overnight. As his first act as president-elect, I believe Trump should be able to walk up to the Bill Kristols, Eric Ericksons, and Glenn Becks, and David Gergens, and John Kasichs of the world, and bitch slap the smug looks right off their pie holes. Donald Trump will be our next president, so suck it, Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
Next time you see old Sammy at the Falcons game, ask him why he hasn't rised up and moved north.
Yeah.
CBS pundits trying desperately to find a path for Hillary last night. It was just amazing. It was like watching a family try to piece a jigsaw puzzle together while the house was on fire. Quick.
At some point, it started going up, and you said to you guys, he still has a chance. There's 200 more votes.
John King did a great job with CNN, and he kept doing the county by county. It was bad news, bad news, bad news. Poor Wolf Blitzer finally goes, Hillary's up 200 in New Hampshire. And John King goes, yeah, but that's probably going to change.
That's going to change. Sorry, Wolf.
Hillary was the poster child for the entrenched, corrupt, beholden to Wall Street establishment. In other words, congratulations, Democratic Party of 2016. You're now the Republican Party of the 1970s.
That's right.
Byron Pitts of ABC said this was about love versus fear, and fear won. Wrong.
Right.
Love won. Love of country.
Yes.
This country. By the way, some famous athletes have chimed in on Trump's victory.
Okay.
Ricky Rubio, who plays, I think, for the Timberwolves, and says, really, America? Okay.
Is that little snot from Italy? Played in Italy as a teenager?
Shut your little Spanish pie hole. Go away.
Yeah, screw you.
Joakim Noah. How? Well, you went down there and voted. Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco. Marijuana is being legalized in many places. I feel like the only idiot that doesn't smoke weed or drink alcohol. And finally, John Daly. Congrats to my great friend and president of the U.S., Donald Trump.
There you go.
So he's got that going for him,
Yeah,
which is nice. Matt Ryan has been named the NFC's Offensive Player of the Week.
Playing great.
Very good for him. Brave center fielder Ender Inciarte won his first Gold Glove.
Outstanding.
Much deserved.
Wow, that's well done.
The Hawks ended their 11-game losing streak to the Cavaliers, beating them in Cleveland 110-106. Dennis Schroeder
barely even knew her.
A career-high 28 points to hand the Cavs their first loss of the season. Dwight Howard had to get 4 stitches and a bloody lip in the first half.
Whoa.
The Bulls are in town tonight. The new college football playoff poll is out, and Crimson Tide still number 1. Then Clemson, the Wolverines, and the Electoral College sneaks in at number 4. Actually, it's the Huskies. NFL, the Chargers are likely L.A. bound after a new stadium referendum in San Diego went down in flames like a brush fire up in Fannin County. Yeah. Speaking of referendums, the state takeover of failing schools failed. So enjoy those failing schools here in Georgia with all those sainted teachers and their unions who keep churning out stupid kids who can't read or write. Keep doing what you've always done. That's working out so great.
Why mess with the unions?
There are a few things more macho than New Zealand rugby players. Yes. Maybe too macho. A panel has been formed to study the players after several high-profile scandals, like groping a stripper at a team function and assaulting innocent men and women on the streets of Wellington.
That's a little iffy.
Oh, it gets better. The final straw was when All Blacks player Aaron Smith was caught making beautiful love with a woman in the Christchurch airport in a public toilet for handicapped people. Speaking of the All Blacks, move over, Cubs fans. 108 years between titles is nothing. The Irish rugby team had beaten every team in the world at least once, except the All Blacks of New Zealand. That streak ended when Ireland won a few days ago, 40-29, their first win over the Kiwis in 111 years of rugby.
No
Guess
kidding.
where the game was played?
New Zealand.
Chicago.
Well, that kind of figures. Thanks, Pete. 223 News Radio 106.7. 844-404-1067. Hold on, Steve. Be right with you. One more kind of a sports-related story, Pete. A guy named Gary Heater, 69 years old, was hunting with his group in the rugged Maury Mountains of Oregon, and he shot an elk. Well, old Gary was driving one of those four-wheeler ATV buggy type things, and he was towing this huge elk behind him in the vehicle. So he's sitting on the four-wheeler, and he's driving up a hill, going up way too steep, and the thing flips over on him. So when the vehicle flips over, our good elderly hunter friend was impaled on the elk's antlers right into his chest.
I am invincible! Invincible!
The dead elk got him back right in the ribs, baby. Anyway, he's going to live, but would that be perfect justice if the elk impales him after he's already dead? 224. I hold Steve is on news. I say Steve. Steve is going to be Steve. Steve has got News Radio 106.7. What's up, Steve?
How you, Kim?
Welcome, sir.
I feel a lot better too. I tell you what,
yes,
it was scary. Well, I never have understood when they either die or like they lost the election. Yeah. They talk about what all they did, how the good they did. Obama, what he done.
Yeah, so legacy, my butt.
They're still a damn bunch of crooks.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care what happened to them, and I don't know. I just don't understand that. And like they weren't paid for what they did.
Yeah.
Or underpaid or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just don't understand why anyone becomes a martyr after they die or, lose office or whatever. And all you hear is good things, And he's got so much crap. If another 4 or 8 years, this country wouldn't have been here.
Yeah. Well, Steve, I think you're right. And by the way, for some reason, in my head, I believe that Donald Trump doesn't really want to be president twice. You know what? I'll bet he's going to do whatever he wants to do for 4 years, and then I think he's going to say, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done. For one thing, he's 70, and he'd be 70. Well, he'd be 78 at the end of his second term, which is the oldest president ever, older than Reagan was when Reagan got office. But it just seems to me that's. I could be totally wrong, but my head says I'll bet you at the end of 4 years he's going to say, "Look, I did my thing. We changed America. I've changed the party. You guys take it from here."
A great question is, who leads the Democratic Party now?
Biden's too old. He's out. Hillary's out. Bill's out.
Tim Kaine?
Oh, God, Tim Kaine, a little troll. He'd go back under the freaking bridge. Oh, God, what a disgusting creature that creep is. Oh, man. Anyway, and Hillary's not done yet, apparently. She was very upset with her staff members, including the ones who were in charge of her Chinese crime commission.
As your leader, I encourage you from time to time, and always in a respectful manner, to question my logic. If you're unconvinced a particular plan of action I've decided is the wisest, tell me so. But allow me to convince you, and I promise you right here and now, no subject will ever be taboo. Except, of course, the subject that was just under discussion. The price you pay for bringing up either my Chinese or American heritage as a negative is I collect your just like this here. Now, if any of you sons of bitches got anything else to say, now's the
Time! I am sick and tired of the negative, dark, divisive, dangerous vision and behavior.
The Kimmer Show replay on News Radio 1067.
This is Walter White. And to those of you out there listening to a replay of the Kim Peterson Show, I have 3 words. Get a life. Tune into the Kimmer weekdays noon to 3 on News Radio 1067.
Well, this is your former President George Bush.
The turncoat.
And this portion of our show is brought to you by President-elect Donald Trump.
Yeah?
He had 2 words for the Bush family this morning.
Yes, sir.
And they weren't thank you. And now here's your temporary host, Kim Peterson.
Yeah, just one of the turncoats who turned his back on America, tried to do everything you can to elect Hillary Rodham Soprano, and you failed. All you Republicans who failed, you backstabbing phonies. And now they're going to be sucking up like Paul Ryan had a speech this morning, news conference, where he said, well, this goes to show the unity we have together to pull this election out for the unity. There was no unity. Donald Trump did it on his own, you damn liar. In fact, he's responsible for the Senate and the House staying Republican leadership majority. Donald Trump did it on his own. You didn't do squat. Although I think Rice Priebus eventually came around. But you political leaders, the Bush family, Rubio, John Kasich. My God, John Kasich, the governor of Ohio, couldn't carry his own state for Hillary because he was pretending that he was, a Republican, when in fact he said he was never going to support Trump. And his own state turned basically against him and went for Donald, along with Pennsylvania and Wisconsin and Florida. I mean, that's just, in North Carolina. Oh man, what a story. What does that tell you? This is historic. It's never happened before. All right, 2:36. Newsmaker line's coming up. Hold everything. This was the day in 1961, Brian Epstein, for the first time, saw the Beatles perform at the Cavern Club in Liverpool. 1961, on this day, he soon became the band's manager. Rolling Stone magazine started publication on this day, 1967. The first cover, John Lennon. And, well, hold on a second. There's a special late live edition of the old, hold on a second, of the special late live former election day. Still chatting there as we wait for the hold signal to come on for the actual phone call. Is getting actually on the air here. In the meantime, let's enjoy some music. Hey, there we got the stacks of wax. There we go. Let's see who's on the old special late live newsbreaker line. Good afternoon.
You got to stop keeping me waiting like this. I'm President-elect, if you haven't noticed, United States. You got to stop it.
I'm
Cut
so
it out.
sorry, Mr. President-elect. This is my bad. I'll never...
Well, Kimmer, I
Yes.
called back. I'd like to thank a lot of people.
All right, sir, please do, yes.
I'd like to, but I pretty much did this all on my own.
Yes, you did.
Mike Pence, please. He's put more people to sleep than Bill Cosby. You think he helped me? I mean, Kellyanne Conway, for God's sakes, when the early numbers came in, that dried apple on a stick bailed out on me quicker than the sales department bailed out on the Kimmer. I heard that pathetic suck-up Mitt Romney call your show, trying to make nice.
Yeah,
up yours, pal. I have a long memory, you know.
Yes, sir.
It's like they say about Amy Schumer, an elephant never forgets. You gotta laugh at these jokes. See, I gotta laugh.
You're the president, my God, man.
Boy, this election's got some of those bottom-feeding liberals out there really rattled.
Oh, very rattled are they, sir?
I heard Jerry Farber was so upset he accidentally paid a bill on time.
I don't believe that's going to happen.
He was so upset he inadvertently gave credit to a joke he stole. I mean...
Very upset.
I'm here to tell you, you know.
Very upset.
And the Bush family. What can I say about those Bush families?
Bushes, yeah.
They got to be eating more crow than Lance Armstrong.
That's right. They just have to take back what they said earlier when he said he wasn't cheating with drugs.
Okay.
That's what you meant,
I mean, when
I'm
they
sure.
sober up George W. and long enough to tell him that Hillary lost, W. is going to be as upset as he was when the photographer caught him dropping off the woman at the family planning clinic.
That was a long time ago, sir.
Yeah, the Bush family worked aggressively to get Hillary elected.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, Laura ran down 3 Trump supporters with a station wagon. I mean, they were...
Reliving old times.
I thought CNN was going to have a cow, and then I forgot they fired Donna Brazile.
No!
You got to work with me.
Hello.
One more thing.
Yes, sir, Mr. Former future president.
I have a backup joke.
All right, sir.
See, I thought they were going to have a cow, but then down in Brazil not there anymore.
Brazil got fired.
Maybe if I told it it's Christopher Walken, it would have been funnier.
No, it was perfect as it was.
I would like to thank the voters of Ohio for putting me over the top last night.
Ohio voters, yeah.
This is like I was telling Melania. This has to be the best thing the Buckeye State has done since they mowed down those punks at Kent State.
Yeah, protesters.
I don't know about you. I watched the video over and over again. I practically worn out the rewind, refresh, and freeze and zoom functions on my computer. Just must-see TV. That's what I call it. Great to be on the show.
Thank you.
Glad I can start things off in a very positive mood.
President of the United States, the Donald, right here. What a thrill, sir. Mercy. Hold on, Deputy Dan. In fact, CNN was basically, and I didn't watch them last night. I watched mostly Fox. I did kind of switch around a little bit. I didn't stay up all night long to watch this nonsense. I was up at 3, so I got up. By the time I got up, they were still basically just finishing. But Wolf Blitzer and his ilk on the desk.
He basically had suicide watch right there. Okay, first of all, he didn't want to say anything good about Trump. He waited until 2:48 a.m. after Trump had taken the stage to say he had won.
Trump said Hillary called me conceding and I won, and they still hadn't said anything.
Blitzer visibly stunned when co-host Dana Bash informed him that Clinton had conceded in a phone call. If Hillary Clinton has conceded, that is dramatic, said Blitzer. That is a dramatic development, Dana. And to hear the words president-elect, we haven't yet projected that. But you're saying Clinton made a formal call to Donald Trump to concede?
Wolf.
So Dana again confirmed that she had conceded. Still, CNN did not call the election for Trump.
But they just can't believe it. They just don't want to accept it. Oh, my God. They should all be fired. Jeff Zucker right at the top and all of them. Every one of them ought to be fired immediately for their incompetence and their deceptive nature. Journalists, my ass. I mean, just disgraceful. Deputy Dan on News Radio 106.7. How's it going, Deputy Dan?
Hey, what's going on, Cameron?
Is hanging in there celebrating, sir.
Well, I tell you what, it's a great day in America, man. We took it back, the whole thing, whole kit and caboodle, and it's going to be awesome.
I love it.
And we got the hottest first lady on the planet now.
That's right.
Come on.
Yeah.
And but I tell you what, my news feed on Facebook this morning, it was just incredible. I've got some friends in the BLT and G community over there, and they think this Pence is going to come round them up and throw them into a gay internment.
Oh, God. That's such crap.
Freaking out.
Yeah.
I'm like, good Lord. But
that's nonsense.
Hey, I got a buddy of mine, my friend Christy. She works out there in Roswell.
Uh-huh.
She thinks you've got the sexiest voice on the planet. And I'm like, you need to call and say hello. She won't do it. So, see if you can't get her to call.
Well, what's her name, Christy?
Kimber babe, all the way.
Christy?
Yeah.
All right, Christy.
Call you and say hello.
All right, Deputy Dan.
Cameron, have a good one.
Thanks, man.
All you do, Semper Fi. We'll see you later.
Semper Fi. Keep your head down and be careful.
You're listening to the Kimmer Show replay on News Radio 106.7.
This is William Shatner, and you're listening to a replay of the Kim Peterson Show. Really? My God, man. I thought Star Trek fans had no life. Anyway, the Kimmer's on Monday through Friday, noon to 3, on News Radio 106.7. And his show is so bad, my final wife held her own head under the water.
This is Dan Rather, and this portion of our show is brought to you by CBS News, who still insists this presidential election is too close to call. Hillary's looking good in Georgia, Bob Schieffer. She could still pull this thing out. And now here's your temporary host, Kim Peterson.
Yeah, and all those idiots were wrong. I mean, for a year. And just, throw it. You should always lie at exit polls. Polls are disaster. There shouldn't be polls. A candidate shouldn't have to find out what people are thinking before he finds out how to lead them. I mean, the whole thing is just appalling to me. If you pay attention to polls, Hillary should have won by a mile. Anyway. All right, musically, this day, 1962. Motown Records releases by Smokey and the Miracles. You really got a hold on me, 1962. Roy Acuff was installed as the first living member of the Country Music Hall of Fame on this day in 1962. Let's see. Communist East Germany in 1989 threw open its borders, allowing citizens to travel freely to the west, and Germans were dancing on the Berlin Wall. You recall Ronald Reagan told Gorbachev, tear down this wall, and it wasn't long after that, in fact, it was torn down. And then, and for you, like you young guys like Spalding, Pete and I, you still have rock from the Berlin Wall. I've got pieces of rock from the Berlin Wall. Do you even know what the Berlin Wall is or was? Do you have any inkling of it at all? Any kind of sense of history about it?
Absolutely.
No, do you?
Yeah.
Well, you're the one then, I promise
I was
you.
about 10 years old.
Yeah. Well, it was an unbelievable event. In 1989, opened the borders. All right, look out. 250, quickly to Bryna on News Radio 106.7. Hi, welcome. You're on the radio. What's going on?
Hey, I just wanted to say that while this campaign was going on, you enlightened me quite a bit. I remember you reading something about Ronald Reagan, and you were talking about how he was a movie star.
Right.
Nobody thought. And you want to know something? When I heard you read that on the radio, I thought to myself, you know what? Trump is going to win. Because it was all about something different, a change and all that. And I just wanted to tell you, thanks for opening up my mind, because I am the black girl, okay? And I'm not. I called you once before. You thought I hung up on you, and I promise I didn't. I'm not upset that he won, and I feel like this for all those black people that are upset. They should have took their asses out, excuse my French, and voted. Other than that, hey, and I also think, listen to what Kimmer says. When he says that Donald Trump is probably going to only be there for 4 years, I think you hit the nail on the head, because he's going to grow weary of that, I think.
Well, I think he looks at it as his last job, that he wants to perform the best he can and be the big star of bringing everybody together and doing great work, and then it'll be time to go. And I think it'd be a perfect transition, honestly. And think of it also, Brian, or the Republican, well, so-called Republican leadership, who were either too young or too inexperienced this time to run, in 4 years aren't going to be quite as young and experienced. So it may be a perfect transition time, too. Well, thank you for your kind words, Brian. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to me. I know.
My pleasure. Thank you so much. You have a great day. And be careful of the 251, 252. Quickly, Jimmy, I got a quick second for you, and then Newsbreak line. What do you got there, Jimbo?
Hey, Cameron.
Yes.
I love you every day, and what's so sad, I got my wife listening to you.
Oh, boy.
But
there
listen,
you go. Yes,
I got something to tell you. I got something to tell you, but you said something about the polls a while ago.
Yeah.
I honestly believe if they wasn't pushing her so damn much, that there'd have been more Democrats getting out to vote.
Yeah.
But my wife won a trip to L.A. about 5 years ago to see Judge Alex, and she had signed papers now, and she gets stuff from him every day. And this morning he sent her an email, said, if you think the media is not biased, turn on ABC, CBS, NBC, or CNN right now.
Yeah.
It looks like they're all in mourning. That's what Judge Alex on TV.
I love it. Jimmy, thanks, man. You be careful out there. They're weeping. I mean, they're laying in fetal positions all over the country right now. They can't believe it. Well, poor baby, shut up and be an American. How about that? How about stop your silliness, act like a man, grow a pair, and start doing something for your freaking country. I'm so sick and tired of crying, oh, my God, how could she not win? She didn't deserve to win. The people have spoken. Drain the freaking swamp. Newsmaker line. Good afternoon.
Bring it here.
No, you're
Bring it to me.
Oh, no, you almost had it, sir.
This is Secretary of State for not much longer, John effing Kerry calling.
That's for sure there, sir.
I'm reporting for duty, by the way.
You said duty. You said duty.
I was nowhere near Danny Thomas's coffee table.
No, I wouldn't even know what that means, sir.
I don't either. Boy, it's a sad day for Democrats, Kimmer.
Yes, it is. Sad day.
Who just 30 minutes ago woke up to the news that Hillary was defeated. I wonder who's going to break it to VA Director Leslie Wiggins when she rolls out of bed. It's the crack of two. They're downright suicidal over at the AJC, the Al Jazeera Constitution.
I'll bet, sir.
By the way, the AJC still hasn't called the state of Florida for Donald Trump.
No, they wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, pinko plagiarist Marxist Mike Lukovich is on suicide watch. Over 300 ex-subscribers called Mike to see if he needs any help. On your mark.
Trump!
I feel bad for Hillary because John effing Kerry, did I mention that I served in Vietnam?
I heard something about that for the 2 weeks.
I owe Mrs. Clinton a debt of gratitude.
Gratitude, sir?
Absolutely. Thanks to Hillary, John Kerry, will go down as the second worst Secretary of State in American history. I mean,
that's
like
right.
being 49th in education and saying thank God for Mississippi. Where they teach the 3 R's, you know.
The 3 R's?
Reading, writing, and wrestling. By the way,
yes, sir.
The FBI is still investigating the Clinton Foundation.
Oh, yeah, right.
With no Loretta Lynch around to protect him, I got to believe Bill and Hillary are sweating like a village person at the CDC waiting room right now. That's one way of putting it.
That's the way I like to look at it.
There's other options, of course. But even though our side lost last night, Kimmer, you got to give Mr. Trump his due.
His due, sir.
Like they say, to the victor goes the spoils.
Yes, sir, Victor.
But enough about the Trump victory dinner at the Ansley Golf Club.
That spoils, you see. Spoiled kitchen food.
See, it was supposed to be a surprise, but typical Ansley Golf Club, they went ahead and spoiled it.
They spoiled it. They spoiled the dinner in advance, didn't they? Look out, 2:55. By the way, some more audio of Hillary. Apparently she's begging Putty Tat to keep her around somehow to do something, and he wants no part of it.
I just want to be a part of your life.
Oh, this is the way you do it, huh? Showing up at my apartment?
What am I supposed to do? You won't answer my calls. You changed your number. I mean, I'm not going to be ignored.
You don't get it. You just
won't give up. The woman won't stop, I tell you.
This is Hank Hill, and thank you for listening to a replay of The Kimmer Show, courtesy of Hangman and John Boy. So if you didn't like the show, blame them. Listen to The Kimmer weekdays noon to 3 on News Radio 106.7.